Not only is March upon us, but March Madness is nearly upon us. The 2024 NCAA Tournament is about a week away, if you can believe that, which means we're starting to figure out more and more who could win the 2024 National Championship. In today's video, I'll be discussing the teams that could do it based on multiple factors. We'll start with a larger number of teams and then narrow it down. If at any point you enjoy what you're watching, be sure to leave a like on the video. Feel free to comment your thoughts or opinions and remember to subscribe. Now, on to the video. By the time you're selecting your bracket, there will be 68 teams to choose from. So how do you decide which one of them will win it all? Well, for starters, since 1985, the lowest seed to ever win the NCAA Tournament was an 8 seed, Villanova, in 1985. Since then, 63% of national champions have been 1 seeds. That's 24 times. We've had a 2 seed win it 5 times, a 3 seed win it 4 times, a 4 seed win it twice, most recently was UConn last year, never a 5 seed, and then 6, 7, and 8 seeds have each done it once. But this statistic is non-binding, right? The NCAA Tournament is predicated on surprises and unique feats. Just because, say, a 10 seed has never won it all before doesn't mean they can't possibly do it. History just tells us it's very unlikely. Therefore, for a national champion, I'm throwing out everyone over an 8 seed, quickly narrowing us down to just 32 teams. That's not to say all the low seeds will prevail throughout the tournament. I'm only talking about the national champion. Let's get even more specific and bring our friend KenPom into the fold. I've mentioned KenPom a ton in my college basketball videos, so hopefully you either know what it is or looked it up to find out, but I'm sure there have been quite a few of you absolutely lost when I've been spouting off about adjusted efficiency margins and such, so I'll briefly explain. KenPom was created by, KenPom, a statistician named Ken Pomeroy, and his website, KenPom.com, provides advanced analytics and rankings for college basketball teams. The statistics I frequently reference are adjusted offense, adjusted defense, and adjusted efficiency margin. Adjusted offense quantifies a team's offensive efficiency by considering factors like points scored per possession and effective field goal percentage, among others. A high adjusted offense indicates an effective offense that efficiently scores points. Adjusted defense assesses a team's defensive efficiency, taking into account metrics such as points allowed per possession, opponent's effective field goal percentage, and more. A low adjusted defense signifies a strong defense that limits opponents' scoring opportunities. Adjusted efficiency margin is actually just the difference between the two values and signifies the team's overall strength. Now that you have all that knowledge, let's see what KenPom tells us about national champions. Since 2001, 95.5% of national champions have been top 21 in adjusted offense prior to the tournament. Since 2001, 90.9% of national champions have had a top 31 adjusted defense prior to the tournament. This kind of just substantiates the point I've been making throughout my videos that an elite defense is awesome, but it really doesn't mean much if you don't have an amazing offense. As I've said a million times, you prefer to have a really good offense and a serviceable defense as opposed to a serviceable offense and really good defense. But of course, you'd want an elite offense and really good defense, hence the top 21 offense and top 31 defense thing. Let's take a look at who fits that criteria and really narrow down these teams. Okay, the following teams currently have a top 21 offense and top 31 defense per KenPom. They are the Houston Cougars, the Auburn Tigers, the UConn Huskies, the Arizona Wildcats, the Marquette Golden Eagles, the Purdue Boilermakers, the Creighton Blue Jays, and the Duke Blue Devils. That means we're down to just 8 teams. Do I believe in any of these 8 teams to win the national championship? Well, yes, I do. I think Houston, Auburn, UConn, Arizona, Creighton, and Duke are potential national champs that I'll get into a little further. I've already covered why I have serious doubts about Purdue and Marquette in previous videos, so be sure to check those out. That means we're down to just 6 teams. Houston. Yeah, they're legit. They're going to be a 1 seed. They're probably going to win the Big 12 tournament. They already won the Big 12 regular season title in their first year. They got the best defense in the nation and a top 12 offense per KenPom. They're just a great all-around team. They've got the Baylor transfer L.J. Cryer, who's a great scorer, Jamal Shead, who's a terrific defender and can score, as well as Juwan Roberts, who's a great big man for them. Then you look at their schedule, and they only lost 3 games all year. At Iowa State, at TCU, and at Kansas, so all capable teams, and those were all quad 1 losses, which means they went undefeated in quads 2, 3, and 4. On top of that, they had 13 wins in quad 1. That's the most in the nation. I actually haven't included Houston in any of my videos, and that's because they're very good. They're likely the number 1 overall team in the country. It's not a flashy pick, but don't be afraid to pick Houston to win it all in 2024 March Madness. Then we got Auburn, and I love Auburn. Johni Broome is wonderful on both sides of the floor. Jalen Williams, Chad Baker-Mazara, and Denver Jones all contribute offensively, and they have the 4th best adjusted efficiency margin on KenPom. Auburn is a very capable team. Their problem is that they have just one quad 1 win. I just told you Houston racked up 13 of those, and Auburn was an abysmal 1-7 in quad 1 games. Now, quad 1 record is not the be-all, end-all, but I think some of those results just tell you what you need to know about Auburn. They're a great team and one of the best in the country, but I think it's a stretch to say they're national champion material. Too many losses to good teams and not enough wins against them. UConn.
Championship program was built with men that ran everywhere.
I made a whole video talking about UConn, so for more on that, check that out. But I mean, there really isn't much to be said. They're an incredible team and they're national champion worthy, but I'm extremely concerned with the stat regarding reigning national champions. We haven't seen a national champion repeat since Florida in 06 and 07, and after this, go watch that video to see what reigning champions have done since, and a little more explanation there. Again, UConn is an amazing team on paper, but that stat concerns me.
Adama Sanogo ran everywhere. Jordan Hawkins, he ran everywhere. Andre ran everywhere. Isaiah Whaley, the wrench.
Arizona is an interesting team. They play out in the soon-to-be no more Pac-12, so they don't get much media attention. They've held steady as one of the best teams in the country all year long. They're 6th in adjusted efficiency margin. They're 8-3 in quad 1 games. What concerns me is that they're 6-3 in quad 2 games, and they have a quad 3 loss. That tells me they might play down to competition a little bit. And for further proof of that, Tommy Lloyd has made 2 tournaments while head coach at Arizona, and what has he done? Well, they lost to a 5-seed Houston in the Sweet 16 as a 1-seed in 2022, and last year, they were a 2-seed that lost to 15-seed Princeton in the first round. I'm not going to completely count Arizona out, but they're not a team I personally am going to predict to win it all. Creighton also fits this criteria, and they're a fun team. They play in the Big East, which is a tough conference, and I can't wait to see how they fare in the conference tournament. If you want to be convinced that Creighton is a great team, just rewatch their win over the Huskies. UConn head coach Dan Hurley compared their loss to Creighton to running into a buzzsaw. They have solid roster construction all around and are mature. They have 2 of the top 4 scorers in Big East conference play in senior Baylor Shireman and junior Trey Alexander. They've also got seniors in Stephen Ashworth, who has scored to at least 20 points in 3 games this season, and 7-footer Ryan Kalkbrenner, who has hit the 20-plus mark 10 times this season. Senior guard Francisco Farabello is also a sneaky good contributor. Will they win it all? That remains to be seen. They could make a deep run, but it would surprise me if they were to go all the way. But I could see them turning some heads a la 2023 UConn. The final team is the Duke Blue Devils. Duke is a really good team. Kyle Filipowski, Jared McCain, Tyrese Proctor, Jeremy Roach, Mark Mitchell. Very, very good. Their quad 1 record, though, is only 5-4, and they lost games to Georgia Tech, Pitt, and Wake Forest, in addition to being swept by North Carolina. They're 7th in adjusted offense and 22nd in adjusted defense. I think Duke has what it takes to win it all this year. So that brings it to Houston and Duke as my only teams that I think can truly win it all. But I'm going to add 2 more teams. I recently made a video called 3 teams I am super confident in for 2024 March Madness. One of those teams was Duke. The other 2 were Tennessee and North Carolina. They technically don't fit this KenPom criteria, but I still feel extremely confident in both of them. I'm willing to say that the national champion will be Houston, Duke, North Carolina, or Tennessee. And if you were to ask me to pick one of them, I'm going to go UNC. They have a top 5 defense in the nation paired with a top 25 offense with so many weapons in R.J. Davis, Armando Bacot, Harrison Ingram, and Cormac Ryan, who's been great. A really good offense to pair with an elite defense. Be sure to check out 3 teams I am super confident in for 2024 March Madness to get a really deep explanation on Duke, Tennessee, and UNC to find out why I'm so high on them. That does it for this one. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all things 2024 March Madness. Feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts or opinions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.